Now this one here, Peter, you haven't been down to Armadillo for a little while, so maybe we should give him a little song for it, ain't you think? Down for the little folks down there in Armadillo, Mr. Corn. Yeah, he'll like that. All right. When the day is on a Texas Sunday morning, how I long to be there with P who's waiting for me there. Every lonely city where I hang my hat ain't as half as pretty as where my baby's at. Is this the way to Armadillo? Every night I've been hugging my pillow, dreaming dreams of Armadillo and sweet Rupee who waits for me. Show me the way to Armadillo. I've been weeping like a willow, crying over Armadillo and sweet Rupee who waits for me. Sha la 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 la. Sha la 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 la. Ha ha. Sha la 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 la. I'm Rupee who waits for me. There's a church bell ringing with a song of joy that it's singing for the sweet Rupee. And the guys who come in to see him just beyond the highway, there's an open plain and it keeps me going through the wind and rain. Is this the way to Armadillo? Every night I've been hugging my pillow, dreaming dreams of Armadillo and sweet Rupee who waits for me. Show me the way to Armadillo. I've been weeping like a willow, crying over Armadillo and sweet Rupee who waits for me. La 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 la, fat crab, la 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 la, my ass, la 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 la, ha ha, and Rupee who waits for me. Sha la 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 la, fat crab. Fuck you. You know what? You know what? Actually, just stay the fuck away from me, every single one of you. Go away from my fucking graves. You really piss me off with your stupid flowers and shit. Like, you sound like fucking shit, and so do you. So fuck off and have a bath.
Hello, 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 and welcome for, wait, what's going on here? What's going on here? There we go. All right.
Well,
there
I
we go.
disappeared.
A lot better. Yeah. No, you just disappeared for
I'm
a
back.
second.
I'm back.
All right. Yes. Hello. I could hear myself twice, 3 times, 4 times. Welcome for episode number 4. Yes, starting off great as usual. My name is Use Gaming. I play Rainier, the mayor in Valentine. Next to me, we have the brains of the organization. 99% of everything that happens here. Would you like to introduce yourself?
No. Yes. I am Dip. I play Douglas, the man that hates the butcher. And this podcast is all about introducing all of you, but also ourselves, to new subjects that we find interesting, that we hope you find interesting. And then eventually, when we completely run out of ideas, we're going to make you guys come up with everything.
Makes it a lot easier. Less work for us, less stress. Today we're going to be talking about CK. We're talking about CK, how to CK, what makes you want to CK, how you feel after you've CK'd, and all the implications, or if it's okay to feel sad, or anything like that. First off, just below me we have everybody's favorite tea smuggler or tea dealer. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello. Thank you for having me. So my name's Aaron, or as a G, however you want to call it. Played Rupert Quinn, the ultimate tea dealer, but I do bleed that love for tea, so it is actually just me that loves tea. I've played Blaze Riley, so I burnt down Huckabee's store because he was corrupt. And
Wait,
Caleb
you actually
Dalton,
burned down his
Randall
jewelry
got it.
store?
Yeah, but no. It was
Long
him.
time ago.
He was all corrupt. He was corrupt. I've been telling people since day one.
Okay, we just put up.
And now he's got a statue. Yeah, I know. It'll all come out one day.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, what about this guy next to you on the podcast right here? Who's this?
Hey guys, Crab Killer 69 here. Also known as the crab salesman down in Blackwater, and now the crazy insurrectionist that wants to take down the government. Peter Walsh, Franklin Campbell, Dan, whatever you want to call me. All
right, cool. All right. Well, first of all, thank you guys for being here. We wanted to put on some of the old school, well-known characters that a lot of people that have been here since the that have built up something big and then decided to CK. First off, I want to ask, how'd you guys know each other? Because as everyone just heard in the intro, we played a little song called Armadillo, where you actually sing about about Aaron's character.
Yeah, good old Aaron, good old Rupee.
Good old Rupee.
We were just speaking about it as the first time that I met as Pete, I met him on Rupert. Aaron was just saying that back in the day I was doing my Petey pics, whereas similar situation to what Aaron's picture is on the stream right now. It's just I was taking pictures and sort of making people smile, and a lot of people wanted them back in it must have been like the first few months of the server, and I think that's how we originally bumped into each other, and they kind of just like went from there. And that's what I remember at least.
Oh,
Pete and Rupert.
I remember that, and I was just obsessed with you. Can you remember that time? Because we were playing, like, Rupert was a good guy, but the only time, I think, apart from a couple of other things, that he did something kind of corrupt was when you had that incident with Martha, and we was trying to, like, get Huckabee to go and arrest her.
Yep. Remember that? Yeah, put on the sad acts. Oh, that fucking really hurt me. Oh. Playing it off, Yeah, I remember that. Actually, Jess just put a good point in the chat. I think the first time we properly met was when we came down to pay off Coda's loan. Me, her, and Coda. That was down in Armadillo, where you were working as a real estate officer as Rupert.
Yeah, I got a load of money from that. I was loving that.
Yeah. 11,000. I remember.
Yeah, paid off all in one. I got a little percentage. Yeah, that was great.
That was like the first few months in the server as well. That's before anyone had that kind of money. He was rich. Coda, rich guy.
So for you guys, for you guys to did you guys like know each other? Like I know a lot of you guys that played on Ranch, the old school, the real old school, the people that started off. Did you guys know each other before Ranch, or did you guys get to learn each other here
No.
on Ranch?
No, I mean, when I came to Ranch, I knew probably 4 people, 5, 6, a handful of people, and that was about it before I even came over here. So for me, it was a whole brand new experience meeting all these crazy people that, you know, never interacted with before. But no, I don't think I ever would have bumped into Aaron on any other server that I played on for a very short period of time.
No, I came from somewhere else, and the only person I knew that was over here was Benny and Luke Ferry. They were the only 2 people I knew. There was a few others that are like dotted around that have come from the same place, but they're the 2 people I've kind of stuck with.
All
So
right. All right. Well, it's just interesting to know if you guys knew each other. But so to get into the subject of today, you Aaron Azak, or Azag, apparently that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. I've always said Azak. So you build up this whole like tea empire down in Armadillo. Let's talk a little bit about that. What made you want to make this character? What was his goal? Was his goal just to go down and import like British Yorkshire tea and bring it to the masses?
Well, I play a lot of Crim characters, and I remember Benny was always saying he'd like to see me kind of play a good one. So I really wanted to think of how I could do that as a civilian. And I took my love for tea and thought, you know what, there's no one doing Yorkshire tea, and I can make a lot of money from this. So I just got it booming, and I didn't want to sell it, you know, the same as everyone else. I wanted to kind of deal tea, and there's a couple of clips that are really funny. It's the law are actually chasing me out of town because it's illegal tea contraband, and there was a time where they tried to illegalize it because it's British. And
wait, so like what's called the Boston Tea Massacre or whatever it's called?
The Blackwater Tea Massacre. It was at the time. It was always down the alleyway at Dottie's General Store. It was crazy, and doing all that from Armadillo as well. You know, lawless. It was great. I love the people. Shout out to everyone down in New Austin because they are exceptional.
So what was the because you had this slogan or something, because you know I have that the Ranch Roleplay trivia, and it's you had this rhyme you said you
yeah.
People. Do you remember?
Yeah, you didn't get from me telegram tea.
That's the one.
Yeah. And I paid like $500 for that telegram off someone because someone else had it.
Oh, but was that because they were trying to legalize it? You didn't get it from me. Is that the whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh, it makes sense.
You didn't get it from me, telegram tea.
Yeah. Okay, all right. It's all coming together now. So what was did you have any like, because it's no secret that Rupert was loved by many and probably everyone that ever met him, because he was just straight up genuinely nice guy to be around. And did you like what was your goal with him? Was it just to be this rich tea dealer, or did you have anything anything in particular? Because the way I see it, how you write a character is you write a background story, something that tells you how did your character come to be, what happened to your character that made it into the person you are today, and then you write where you are today. That's the second chapter, and then the final chapter is where you want to end up. So you know you might want to be the president or the governor, and once you've reached that, you know, boom, you CK your character, you move on to the next one, or retired or whatever. Like what was your what was Rupee's, what was his end game goal?
I'll be honest, with all of my characters, first of all, we're lucky to be in such a place full of amazing people we can bounce off all the time. So a lot of the time I don't plan anything. I really don't. I bounce off everyone else, and anyone can shape my character. That's the way it is. If someone's out there and they're trying to really get me angry and try and break me, if they can do it, I'll break. But with Rupert, it was all about I have to remain good and show that, you know, good characters can actually have a lot of fun as well. Civilian characters, being a Civ, most fun I've ever had. And I've been Law, I've been Crim. It is the most fun. The only thing I planned was that I was going to CK him after a certain amount of time.
What made you want to do that after a certain? And was there any particular reason for an X amount of time or specific amount of time or?
I suppose I didn't want to go dormant.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to get old real quick. And I enjoy meeting new people. I don't play with like a big group. I like bouncing off and meeting different people. So from New Austin, I'm now in Lemoyne. So I'll kind of go from one place to the other and just meet different people. But the only thing that I'd have on a character is a message. And I suppose Rupert's message was, I think it was the last thing he said. Tea is good. Tea is good. That'll be on every character, apart from Caleb. Had to stick to coffee, which annoyed me every moment.
That's right. He's American.
Yeah, he's American, man.
Mm-hmm.
Is just don't let get to a funeral to tell someone how you really feel, and that was the message at the end. Died telling everyone that I loved them, and that's it. That's the message. But yeah, no planning, just bounce off each other. That's the biggest advice I've got.
Yeah, because as far as I remember, because that's it's also in my in the trivia game. It says that what did he die from? What did Rupert die from? It just natural causes, cancer.
Yeah.
So was that what you made? Like, did you actively look for a CK scenario, or were you like, all right, it's time. Let me go get some cancer, and
So I remember first meeting Huckabee on that character, and I told him that I found something. So it was from the very beginning that he had it, from the very start. And some people knew that I was suffering with it in character, but I persevered. Rupert carried on, and he carried on doing what he loved, even after everything was trying to beat him down and destroy him. The world was always against him. He carried on being good. And I didn't plan to die at that very moment in CK, but I was very weak at the time. And Cass and Rosie and everyone came to try and attack me, something over the Los Lobos. And they held me up. And it was just such a moment, right? It just felt right. So as he had his gun pointed and Huckabee came down, there's a clip on it of on Benny's stream, and it just felt right. It just felt like I had to collapse there and go, because then it passed that story on to Cass. He felt guilty now. Did he kill him? Did he speed it up? Huckabee didn't have enough time to speak to Rupert. And it just put some doubts in people's minds, and I felt like it was good to pass that baton on then, and a couple more stories to break from it.
Yeah, so exactly. This is one of the reasons why we wanted you guys on here, because you chose to CK at to not necessarily just end Rupert's story here, but to continue some sort of RP, to pass the ball on to someone else. Because in here you say you made Cass feel guilty, and a lot of other stuff happens when you CK. It's not just all right, that's the end of it. Everybody forgets him, because here we are months after you died, and people are still talking about you. People making literal songs about you, visiting you. You know what I mean?
How about in the moment when you decide, like you said, you want to CK your character because you want to give this story. You want to continue it through someone else. What do you do then? Right after?
If anyone says anything other than this, they might obviously be a lot better at controlling it than me, but instant regret every moment after you CK a character, because you miss that character.
Yeah.
You think about again, for the people that don't have maybe a friends group, you realize, oh damn, I can't speak to all these people I love speaking to every day now because I'm gonna have to make a new character. It's that selfish regret now that I wish I could just log back on him.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Like that is how everyone, like, you should be feeling like that. The amount of time and effort you put into it, like as you said, you know, you might be very, very good at, you know, distancing yourself from your character. So I can easily keep my feelings to myself. But at the end of the day, once you type that /do/me, dead, no pulse, whatever, like however you want to CK, you know, it's the end, you know, and you're left there with you know, with this empty feeling of, you know, what do I do now? You know, I can't go in there and hang out with Huckabee every day. I can't go in there and
you get instant FOMO. That's what I feel like, you know, like instantly, like you're thinking, fuck, like I'm going to miss out on everything that all, you know, people I love role playing around are doing now. And it's like, what the fuck do I do now? It's like terrible feeling. Horrible.
And a big part of that also being your death. You know, you don't get to witness what happens afterwards.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, makes sense, of course, but it's still something huge that you give to someone else, right? The bigger the character is, the more RP you've created through them and with the people around you. It just magnifies the RP that comes out of a character CK, but you don't get to enjoy that. That's for everyone else.
Yeah,
literally that.
Horrible little feeling that you get, but it is good. Sense of pride once it's all gone.
Exactly.
At that very moment.
You spend so long, so much time, you know, to build up this character and everything they've done and everyone they've impacted, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, from one moment, from one message, from one typed out message to the other, boom, that's it. Now you gotta go play another character and
instant realization that you've wasted all that time just to die.
Yeah, but you know, you're still being like, you know, not to bring up, you know, to actually bring up, you know, someone like Benny, you know, I know that he had the same way of, you know, the instant, maybe not regret, because he made the active choice of rolling the dice and he rolled low and boom, his character is dead. But you could tell on his stream that he was very upset about it. But at the end of the day, you know, someone goes way out of their, you know, way and spends literal weeks on creating something to a great memorabilia, you know what I mean? If nobody knows that, you know, Crab Killer 69 spent a good couple of weeks on creating the statue we now have in Saint Denis for Huckabee.
Yep. Deserved, right. Well deserved.
Yeah, well deserved as well.
Yeah, man of many talents.
Yeah, Huckabee. Yeah, Huckabee, man of many talents.
Yeah.
We love you, Benny. Corrupt bastard. Sorry for the French.
Let's talk a little bit about the fat gay chef from Blackwater that was rude to everyone and remotely only ever tolerated Arden Rhodes. What's the story about him?
What is the story of him? That's a great fucking question. He just existed and turned into whatever he turned into. I don't know. Peter Walsh started off as a mistake, to be quite honest with you.
Mistake? How come?
Yeah, so
a lot of us did.
We're talking live here?
A bit of both, yeah.
I've said too much.
Yeah, so I started playing Red M probably like a few months before Ranch opened up. I went on another server and was trying out Red M voice roleplay for the first time. I went on a character creator. The character creator bugged out and I couldn't get off of it, so I forced crashed my game. I logged back in and I got Peter Walsh. That's literally how he was made. But he had the first moustache option, the first hair option, and he was fat as fuck, and that's what I got. So I made him. Yeah, literally was stuck with that. It's like, fuck it, let's go. Played on that server for a few months. Didn't really enjoy it. came over to Ranch with like a handful of people and made that character and just carried on playing him from there. And he existed from there until his very fateful day.
Yeah,
but
that's not the only thing, man. Come on, there's so
well,
much more.
yeah.
Why is he so mean to
fuck.
everybody?
I just don't like people, bro. I don't know what you want me to tell you.
Why do you do all these things for people then?
No, I just like playing a grumpy character. I've always liked doing that shit. I think it's quite funny. I think it adds more weight for when, you know, if you want to open up a relationship with someone and, you know, reveal backstory and provide cool moments for them. It just, you know, being a character that just locks himself away so much of his feelings and then allowing a person to like be opened up to that, I think it's quite cool. It's quite, you know, it's different because I've always been I'm not a fan of people getting along all the time. That being group of friends in a roleplay sense, a group of friends, you know, like a community. I think it's boring personally. I quite like having a bit of conflict here and there. So if I have to be that one guy that's just the grumpy old dude, you know, that just doesn't want to talk to anyone, I think, you know, it at least provides a little bit of something within a town, within a community, within a group of friends, you know. So that's why I've always played that sort of motivation behind him. But in terms of what was the question? Sorry, like how I started.
Yeah, how did you get like everything about? There's so many things. So he made a wonderful, beautiful book about birds that was very detailed with pictures in it. You had a mission of kissing all the marshals. You had the crab shack, which you also wanted like with like fireworks. There were so many things that, you know, that defined what Pete did.
Yeah. Well, before any of that, Pete started out working in a tavern in the Blackwater. I used to work with Alan Bigelow. He's no longer around. Rest in peace. I was Pete's boss back in the day.
Was he the one that choked on a fat crab or something like that?
He's the guy who choked on a fat crab. Yeah. So I used to work there at the tavern with Sweet Yams is his name, out of character. I used to roleplay with him there. Great time, you know. We used to have a great dynamic. I used to be his head chef in the kitchen. We used to always argue back and forth. And back in the day, Blackwater was the place to be. If you like OG players, you know, if you knew, you know, like back in the day, Blackwater was the spot to be. You know, it was popping. And the tavern, it was always a lot going on in there. And, you know, I think people have told me people used to come just to the tavern to witness me and Alan arguing and fighting over, you know, serving the food and providing this, that, and the other. The amount of times that Pete got fired from that tavern is ridiculous as well, like 4 or 5 times or something like that at this point. But yeah, I was working there for a very long time. A lot of subplots happened in between then. Some really cool ones. One that really sticks out was Pete got kidnapped from a group of pirates from Libertalia, and he got a scar on him, which would end up being a huge part of his downfall. I think that must have happened in the first the first month of the server, and that stuck all the way through until 6-7 months, however long I played him. And yeah, that sort of led to his downfall. But after that, in the tavern, after getting fired for the 4th or 5th time, I remember just standing outside the tavern, and I believe it was Arden. She went to Pete, why don't you just open your own business? Why don't you open your own restaurant? Well, like seafood or something. What about crabs? And I went, crabs. I like crabs. So yeah, so the ball cut, the creative juices got flowing from there. And I'm the sort of guy, I hate like doing things just the regular way. So if in terms of creating a business proposal, it was back in the day, you had to write in a book why you wanted to do it, the business you wanted, why you wanted to do it, the menus, the this, that, and the other, who you were interacting with, blah, blah, blah. I was like, fuck that. I just opened up Photoshop. I got my tablet out and I started drawing. I started drawing a little proposal, little picture of Pete here, little picture of that over here, scribble shit onto it. And I was just fucking around. I just handed it over to Dottie, who was the REO, real estate officer in Blackwater at the time. I was like, all right, Miss Dolly, fucking here you go. Here's Crab Shack. She just started bursting out laughing. And I was like, oh god. So and it went from there, and then like I guess she showed it to all the other REO people, and they loved it. They thought, it was unique, it was cool. And I was like, all right, fuck it. And they were like, yeah, you got approved for a crab shack. I was like, all right, cool. So I'm actually doing this.
Who designed that crab shack?
That was Kite, Lillian Costello.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Because I've always thought
best mapping in the game.
Yeah, but like, like I know it's Blackwater is this kind of like it's like a mini Saint Denis when you're in the main street, right? But when you go out there, the crab shack never looked like it was out of place. It never looked like it was an MLO that was not part of the main game. You know what I mean? Like it looked so good. It looked like it was supposed to be there.
Yeah, it's honestly, I'll say it. It's probably the best mapping that I've ever seen on the server, and I'll stick by that. Kite's very good at the mapping that she's done. All of the mapping team are great. Don't get me wrong, but that one it was very special for me. That being it was my own little spot. I had a few requirements for it. Make it thin, tiny, and cramped as fuck. Make it messy and make it look shit. Like make it look visually like shit to look at. And she did a great job. Yeah. And if you ever were lucky to step inside the crab shack, you know that you could not have more than 3 people in there because you'd be cramped as fuck and it would be impossible to walk around in. So that's how that lasted. And I stayed there for a very long time, just being a civilian, dealing with the crab shack and struggling to keep up with the orders. There was so many fucking people wanting fat crabs and I could not keep up with the orders.
Crab in a can.
Me and Cora and Arden, the amount of countless fishing trips we'd go out there and get maybe 5 fish and because I needed a very specific fish for my burgers, and we'd come back with like 5 or 6 of them, and after spending like an hour fishing, and then they'd be gone within an instant. So that's why I used to always roleplay that Pete was a failing business owner because he just couldn't keep up with anything.
I mean, it's kind of like he wasn't failing. He was failing to meet the demand, but the demand was there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But there were so many other things I want to like we were talking about. Let's go into a bit more of now we've talked a little bit about what he helped create it and stuff like that. But what about the downfall? What about this Miss Martha thing? Like all of a sudden I realized that like from when I met you, you already had a massive hate for Miss Martha, and that was probably before my time on the server. Like for some reason you just hated her. And as far as I know, she used to be a regular in Blackwater before she moved on to Saint Denis to the La Bastille. But
she used to be around, yeah. I don't know. I think me and Martha are very good at sort of bouncing off each other. Just like a little dig here, a little dig there. There was multiple times where I'd be injured as Pete, and I remember one time specifically, I think I like lost my voice or something. I can't remember. I had a very bad injury, and I was like bed bound or seat bound. I couldn't remember. And I was just sitting there in the tavern. She came up to me one day and sort of kicked me in the leg and said, "Fuck you," like without anyone noticing. And then there was another time I remember specifically, and she took me around the corner and like punched the shit out of me. So I was like, "Fuck this!" So I went bang, punched her right back. And then as I punched her, a sheriff walked around the corner and saw it. I was like, "Wait, no!"
She started.
Yeah. And but yeah, no, there was always like a little feud going back and forth there. I thought it was always fun. And yeah, I've always enjoyed the little spats we used to get into. But yeah, just one day it sort of kicked off and sort of started Pete's sort of crazy spiral going crazy.
Because I remember down in Blackwater, we were standing outside of the bank, and you've been out riding, and you fell off your horse, and you broke your legs, so you were on crutches. And then Miss Martha comes by, and she kicks you pointing a gun at Miss Martha. Then she punches you, and you fall down, and you hit your head real hard on the curb, and you say like there's blood coming out. And ever since I met you after that, you were absolutely crazy on Pete. You were talking about some kind of like special drink you'd get from the natives or something like that.
The sweet nectar.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Like, what made you wanted to go crazy? Like, what actually facilitated? Like, what happened that made Pete go over the, to the, now he's hallucinating and doing drugs and.
I won't say too much on it because there's still actually role play out there for that to be discovered.
Okay.
Believe it or not. But there is a reason behind that. But But yeah, essentially, it's a mixture of what I won't discuss too much and his past, his backstory before coming over to Monroe, sort of coming together and creating this sort of downfall of this regular angry guy to another level where he was literally quoting the Bible and needing his sweet nectar drugs to hallucinate and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a very different take and a very different turn that I didn't fully expect to happen, and I kind of just went with it. And then it eventually led to just Pete getting locked away for a very long time. A guy with no crimes to his name after 8 months on the server or something like that. I cannot remember. A long time, and then getting his first crime, and then from getting his first crime and then instantly being locked away, pretty much into Fort Wallace for the rest of his days as a sort of insane asylum, where marshals like Bird, Shout Out Bird, White Sharp, and his friends would come and visit him often, but he was not the same person after a certain amount of time. That's for certain.
No, it took a very big turn all of a sudden when you started talking about that the sweet nectar. Because I remember I was out looking for that, asking the natives if they could. I can't remember what the ingredients were, but I was out there asking for it because you told me you needed it. Because if I die, I will survive, or something like that. You just said to me in game.
Just quoting godly shit, and just being very strange.
But so now that we're this goes out to both you and as a G. How do you guys feel now? Like, how long did it take after you stopped playing, like, how to get back to normal? Because I know like people still talking about Pete, and Rupert, every day, or being reminded through emotes, or or being asked to come on the podcast talking about your dead character. How long did it take for you guys to be like, all right, I've come to terms with it now?
Why don't you go first?
Okay. Honestly, probably at least a couple of weeks until the funeral had passed. Once all that had done, then I'd come to terms with it. I mean, I like to have a couple of side characters while I play, so I don't have to rely on the one. I don't get too fixated on it, but definitely a couple of weeks until I brought Caleb in, and then you just start a whole new can of worms. You open up a whole new can of worms. But yeah, it definitely takes a little while. You still think about it, because again, you miss the people you used to roleplay with. I miss I get to see Tommy now, Tommy and Jimothy, but I loved roleplaying with them, and obviously Benny, Cora, Dan, missed roleplaying with all of them. So eventually when you start intertwining again, it's good.
Yeah. It was like we were just speaking about earlier before we started. Me and Aaron had a very cool scene on our new characters. It was very fun to sort of just get back and roleplay with him, because, I always know it's going to be a great scene regardless. And, like it's always fun to bump into people like you used to roleplay with a lot on another character, to then sort of just it be natural and just meet up with them again. It's always great.
Yeah. No, it is. I was there for the interaction. I was also happy to to just witness you guys just standing there monologuing. I like that, you know what I mean? Because you guys are great at ping ponging off of each other as well. But I wanna ask: do you guys have any regrets? I know that Aaron. I know you said that you at that time, it felt like this is perfect time for me to see Kate. But is there anything that you wish that if you could go back now and bring back Rupee or Pete for that sake, to bring them back? Is there anything that you wish that you could have done or achieved before you see Kate, or are you happy with how it just ended up and there's no regrets?
Yeah, I wanted my second fucking crab shack.
Really tried
allowed
for that.
Yeah, mate. I don't think people understand the amount of effort I went in on that second proposal, man. I learnt songs. I sung 2 songs. I spent a week beforehand practicing singing for a proposal. I got fireworks arranged that didn't even work in the end. So they were meant to go off. I turned around and they were not in sync. terrible anticlimax, and and everyone was like, "Yeah, Pete, that was great." I was like, "Oh, right." But yeah, like I really wish I got the second Crab Shack. I think that would have been really cool. I wanted to, try and be the first person to have two businesses or sub businesses or whatever. But obviously, I respect the fact that it wasn't allowed, or like obviously giving other players a chance. That's something I really wanted. But the other thing I really regret was not being able to get one last final word out as Pete. I really wanted to, rub it in that that I was dying. I really wanted to just get him one last, little, please don't forget me, or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we can thank.
But I just because I literally just got shot in the head by Bird, and I typed /description dead and walked away from my PC. To be quite honest, I did not I did not like
right there. That one. I want to stop you right there. You walked away from your PC.
Yeah.
Like what made you do that? Was it because you knew like this like
because I didn't really have any intentions in CKing. I had no starting that night of roleplay. I had no intentions to CKing. I just was doing the crazy shit, locked away in Fort Wallace. Bird was coming to visit me. Bobby came to visit me. Huckabee came to visit me. John Garfield came to visit me. And I had this crazy book that I was writing all my findings and scribbles in and stuff like that. And Huckabee and Bobby, and they were all busy trying to decipher everything I was saying in it, trying to understand like how I was thinking, I was sort of like leaving clues about how to sort of get through to Pete and all that. Bird was getting it, but Huckabee eventually got it right at the end, like how it was fully to get through to Pete. Huckabee had a great scene with me, sat down, and he realized, that because of Pete's past, for anyone that doesn't know, Pete always had a thing of saying if anyone was interested in him, or he thought they was interested in him that he wasn't really interested in, he'd go, "Oh yeah, I have a wife, sorry, can't talk to you, I have a wife." That would always be his like way of saying like, "Fuck off, I don't want to talk to you." But I'd always say that this whole time, but I had it from the get-go that Pete actually killed his wife because he was a gay character. He was sort of forced into like a relationship with this lady, his wife Tracy, who was an NPC character, and obviously he wanted to be with this partner who was actually Tracy's brother called Simon, another NPC character, and it was just a case of Pete was forced into this relationship he didn't want to be in, and whenever people asked like, "Do you have a wife, Pete?" he'd always say, "Yeah, I have a wife," but obviously he was very openly gay, so it was always like a strange thing for people to understand. But essentially, yeah, to get back onto it, Pete killed his wife a long time ago when he was younger, and it was something that sat with him for a very long time. And Pete always felt like he needed to sort of impress his parents to sort of be accepted by them, so he could finally go off and be with his lover. And essentially that was to have a child, to have a son, to sort of carry on the Walsh bloodline, to carry on the name of the Walsh family. And to get a bit dark, Pete did kill his wife, who was having a child at the time. And that child was a boy. And that kind of was like, a thing that he had to tuck really deep behind, his regular emotions that he'd show. And Huckabee was, eventually able to figure out through Pete's scribblings in his book that he had this son, and he sort of killed the son, and he sort of failed himself as what he was meant to do, and making himself seem right in his parents' eyes. And we had a really good scene of him breaking it down, and it's kind of cool as well because Huckabee was obviously openly gay as well, so it was kind of like a cool scene to sort of do it that way. And essentially, Benny did a really good job in talking my character down from being completely nuts to a point where I was sitting there going, "Yeah, okay, I'm gonna make Pete normal now." When Benny stops talking, I'm gonna be like, "All right, yeah, I'm back." Just like, yeah, like sort of gently ease Pete back into society and be normal. But I was like, fuck that, I want that to happen, but I don't think that's right. So I just literally left it down to a slash try, 50-50. I did slash try not to give in to temptation or whatever the fuck I did, and I failed it. And then in my house, I was like, right, that's it. I'm gonna get up and try stab the shit out of Huckabee. And I went to reach for him. I went to lunge for him, and as I went to lunge for him, the martial bird shot my character in the neck, and I thought, for a split second, I'm like, he's dead. That's it, dead. I just typed / description dead and walked away from my PC. I was like, that's it. I couldn't witness it, bro. It was so sad. I didn't want to like hear it. I have wireless earphones, so I could obviously hear what was happening, but I just didn't want to see it. And it was just sad. And I just sat in the other room for like 5 minutes as I was just listening to him just sort of role play it out. And yeah, it was very sad. It was, but yeah, I do wish that I was sort of sat at my PC to go back to the original question and sort of do like a little last speech. But I couldn't in the moment. It's just one of those things I look back on it with hindsight. But I think it also looking back on it, it was probably cool to not say anything.
Yeah.
Sort of realize that this man was completely broken and there was no saving him, and that's it. Dead, gone, final.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, it was great. It was great. But that's one of the things why we wanted to bring you guys on here, because you're very impactful characters. Not to not just for your own sake, but look at all the people writing in chat about how they loved Rupee and loved Peter Walsh as well. It was very emotional, not just for you but for everybody else. And like one of the things we wanted to bring here today was that how it's okay, it's healthy to CK every now and then. You know what I mean? It's good for server to have a healthy amount of CKs on the server as well. But also people, I think it was Aaron that said that you don't want to go. It wasn't stale. You didn't want to go. Oh, what's the word you used, Aaron?
Yeah, like dormant.
Yeah, you don't want to go dormant on your character as well. It's okay, and it's okay to feel sad about CKing a character. It just makes you human because you put a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of dedication, a lot of feelings, whether you want to admit it or not. It's okay to be sad about CKing a character. It just makes you more human. But to bring it back to Aaron, what about you? Is there anything like you regret that you wish you would have done, or
I wish I could have had a couple of more scenes whilst I was really ill, with like Tommy and Jimothy, because
Tommy's in the chat right now, actually.
No, they're great. They're really great. I think I don't know, if I had maybe one last scene with them whilst I was really ill, it may have shaped them even more, which I think would have been quite cool to see. I really wish I could have had one last emotional scene with Benny, but I think it was right at the end anyway. So that's just me that's Aaron speaking more than Rupert.
You would have broken Benny. You would have broken Benny.
It was already fucking broke. Did you see him? He was sobbing his eyes out.
No, I haven't actually seen you CK or Benny experiencing your CK.
Oh, it's so sad. It's so sad.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite CKs. Definitely one of my favorite CKs that I've had.
But
again, it's all about meeting different people.
Yeah, no, it is, and as Dan said as well, it's not just having your comfortable, what's the word? You're like this specific group of people you only want to RP with, as Dan said, he'll be the guy that stands out and becomes, not necessarily enemies with the people that he usually RPs with, but does something to create some kind of tension or something like that without. Metaing. I know that you've done it on Frank a little bit. To your
metagame? You accusing me of metagame?
No. I'm saying for me not to metagame any information, but you have created some tension within your group.
Oh
in
yeah,
order to portray Frank the way that you want.
Like 100%. Yeah, like I don't. It's not. I don't care. Is not the right word, but I'm not. If you're like the closest person I speak to every day, in roleplay and, you know, do all that shit, and you do something that upsets my character, I'm not going to let it slide. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I try not to like let that bleed at all to a point where I'm willing to, you know, completely break a relationship for whatever my character might think is wrong or right, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, like, I'm just reading Drew here. Now, Caleb CK Drew, Amelia, that obviously he didn't in character, obviously. And the story that's span off. I mean, that is the beauty of a CK. Just one CK can spin off a load of stories, so it's definitely incredibly healthy to CK your character. Don't ever be afraid of it. If it feels right, do it. If you feel like you've told your story and you feel like you can create another story or stories from that CK, go ahead.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that's, you know, reluctant to doing it because they will end up in a situation thinking, what do I do now? You know, if they don't have any other characters or plans or whatsoever, and maybe they're afraid when they go into that, they will never really get going again. What did
Yeah.
you guys do when you killed your characters off?
Yeah. I mean, I was 100% that guy. I was like, what the fuck do I do now? I cannot do any other voices. The only other American voice that I could do was kind of like a California guy, you know, and I was kind of just fucking around with that. I was talking to Bird about it, like, what other fucking voice do I do? I don't want to do a British guy. I really don't like role playing with a British voice. I think it's really like basic for me. I like kind of pushing it out there. So I was like, I'm gonna like fuck around with this voice, this stupid Californian voice, and go from there. And I was like, I'm not digging this, man. It's like, I was sat there for a week, just like, I'm really not digging this. I was just, and then like, the more I'd think about it, the more I think, fuck, why did I just like kill my character? It was so stupid. Like, I'm never going to be able to like top what I did with my other character. And then I just kind of thought, fuck it. I'm going to create a crazy, because after I killed Pete, I was really like kind of doing the crazy shit. I was like, yeah, this is kind of fun. Let me do it times 10. So I kind of was like, all right, let me make
Mega Pete.
let me make let me make a patriotic gunslinging war veteran that believes that there is an elder brain and projects out there that are killing people and making people go crazy, and you shouldn't drink ginseng because this, that, and the other, and the government are trying to take our guns and da 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 da, and just run with that. And yeah, I kind of just went with that and realized, yeah, okay, I can do something here. And and I just threw myself in a completely different group of people that I've never role played with before. I went from Blackwater over to Saint Denis, tried to go for the gun store. Luckily, in getting the gun store after doing a decent proposal, and just solidified myself there and just went with it. I think that's the best thing you can do if you're worried about, you know, starting over again and just, you know, you don't think it's going to work out. Just stick to it. Because I really hate playing my new character who I play now. I hated doing it for the first 2 weeks. I thought, this is fucking stupid. This is a waste of time. But I've stuck with it. And I've probably, a few weeks ago, I probably had the best roleplay scene that I've had in a very long time. And that being a standoff with marshals.
Yeah, the one on the mountain.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was probably one of the best scenes I've had in, like I said, in a very long time. Probably the second best scene I've ever had. First being Pete's death, probably. I just don't know where the fuck I'm gonna go with that character now. It's so crazy, and I'd probably say that I've got more story out of my new character Frank than I have ever got out of Pete. And I'm enjoying the hell out of it. So I would recommend to just stick to it. You know, really, really stick to it. Stick to your character's morals, and never break your character's morals or belief, because the second you do, you start to let something slide or think, because, you know, that's my friend, you know, I'll let it slide, da, 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 that's where it starts getting boring.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, exactly. Stick to it, because otherwise it's a slippery slope, and you're going, you know, I can do it for this person. Yeah, I can probably do it for this. Yeah, no. Wait, yeah, no, I 100% agree. But you, Azak, Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, that is the thing that people are scared of when they CK. It's about, honestly, it all falls down to losing the people you enjoy role playing with. And it scares me every single time. I'm not going to lie to you, it scares me every time. But sometimes it's not about CK, and you can. Well, I mean, with Caleb, I benched him for a little bit, and well, he's up in the air. He might never come back. He might do, and you can do that as well. You know, if a CK doesn't fit you, bench them, make a story out of it. Where's he gone? Make a little mystery.
Just retire them. You know.
Yeah, for a bit, start something fresh, meet some new people. But that's the beauty of it. I mean, I went into LSO as Randall. I didn't know anyone in LSO. Not a soul. There was a couple of people that I know, like, you know, from Discord or I've role played with for a little while, but now love them all. Great people to role play with, and we're having a blast. The people of Rhodes, Saint Denis.
In for accusing him of shit, you know. Yeah, no, I see, I get it.
Oh yeah, that was funny. But yeah, honestly, it's a great thing. Start new stories, start afresh, meet new amazing people that you might not have met on your old character. Don't be scared of it, but be scared of it at the same time. I don't know how to describe it. We all are. But take the leap. What's that saying? Never be afraid of taking the leap. I just take it.
Yeah, no. The one thing I noticed that you were saying before is that, you know, you have a little side character. You have your main characters, and then you have a little side character, which is good because, you know, when you then decide to either shelf, retire, or CK your main character, you already kind of have something to fall back on. You know what I mean? Whereas for Pete or Dan, Frank, Pucker Up, whatever you want to call him, you know, there wasn't really anything. You know what I mean? Like he killed off Pete, and then he was sitting there, as he said himself, he sat there for a week or more. What the fuck do I do now?
Yeah, and I like to just stick to one character. I don't really like to play multiple people at once. So it's like, what do I do? Like I mentioned, it's just like, what do you do? How do you stay consistent? How do you provide a decent level of roleplay from a completely new person? You know, I don't want to sound big-headed, but, you know, Pete was a very known character. To a lot of people came to me, provided me roleplay because they just like heard of my character or knew my character. And to go from that to just someone that just they don't know anymore, it's tough. The best thing I can recommend is don't be afraid to use your friends to help ease you back into it, because that definitely helped for me. They were able to set me up within the city of Saint Denis to a point where I was comfortable of doing my own shit, which I actually have ended up doing. Going from there, providing, you know, running a gun store, doing all this shit, providing all these storylines. But yeah, definitely don't be afraid to just try something different and use your friends to help support it.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it, and I don't think anyone can hold you up or complain about you for doing that, because they're not doing it themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You CK a character and you try to do it. You know, it's not easy.
No. It's definitely not. It's never easy to CK your character. It never is. Because I personally remember when I CK my very first character ever back in 5M. Oh, that it left a big hole in me. Like, I had nothing ever felt the same, because as soon as I locked into my new character, I was like, this is not the same. What am I doing here? These are not the same people. And I even did the old, you know, the good old making someone's brother or fucking twin brother or whatever. And even that failed because it wasn't the same. You know what I mean? It wasn't the same. The build up, the way you build up your character before that was just not the same. So it doesn't, like, to me, making a basically a carbon copy of your old character, that's not even the answer to do it, because trust me when I'd
avoid it personally.
Yeah,
it's just like you're doing the same thing. You literally are trying to replicate the same thing, and it's weird.
You can't do that.
As nasty as it sounds, it's just weird, I think.
Yeah, you just can't do it, because it's at the end of the day, it's I know a lot of people out there probably play like a game like World of Warcraft, and then, you know, you come back, they released the like the old World of Warcraft. They released that like 15 years later or some shit like that. And people went back to it and they're like, it's not the same. No, because you can't recreate that nostalgia, that feeling. You can't recreate that feeling. It was such a unique feeling. So even if you try to make the exact same character again, it just doesn't work. So don't even do that.
I'll never make that character ever again on any other server. It's just that's it. Never want to touch that ever again. That's done.
Well, so it doesn't feel natural, right? Like you end that chapter, that part of RP when that character dies. So if you make someone that's like them and try to ease them into sort of the same story, it just doesn't work.
Yeah,
because everything keeps going on.
Feels cheesy.
Yeah.
No, it's not good. I've got a little thing where I kind of subconsciously make a crim CK, make a decent guy CK, back to a crim, and
that is probably a good idea, actually.
That's kind of the way I handle it. I mean, Randall's a bit of both, but no one's unlocked the other side of him yet. But
I like to always start out default, just regular. I always like to start out Civ and go from there, and see what happens. Obviously, well, if anyone knows my new character, Frank is. Well, I've just started going down Crim now. Like, I was just a crazy gun store owner that didn't like law, but I was sticking by the law. I wasn't, a notorious criminal. But now I've gone full into law. Full into Crim. I think it's best to just start out default and just like Aaron said earlier, we've got so many great people that we can just bounce off of to a point where you can take your character wherever the roleplay takes you. I personally recommend just starting in the middle and seeing what happens, because if you define yourself straight away, you avoid any opportunity for anything else happening, and then that's it. All that great roleplay you're missing out on because you decided you want to do this from the start.
Yeah. Let other people, as I've always said, that we are all side characters in each other's stories. Like, you're the main character of your own story, but there are potentially 239 other people that have on the server that has a main story, and so the probability of you being a side character in someone else's story at the current moment is a lot higher than you being the main character in the so don't be scared to let them let other people shape your character a little bit. You don't necessarily
100%.
have to let them shape your full on, but we all have to have this idea of how we want to play our character in the beginning, but as you say, let the RP flow. Let's see where it takes us. And if somebody does something, if someone has such a great impact on you that it makes you change something about your character, go ahead and do it. It's not a bad thing. You don't have to 110% stick to your everything, because if the RP has evolved in a natural and healthy way, you can change something about your character.
100%.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That one is especially important because that's kind of what also makes our characters, right? That they become shaped by the things that happen around them and in their day-to-day lives. So obviously that would change how they are.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it is just a person behind the character saying, "Nope, I cannot let that affect me because then I'm not true to my character." Well, you're as you said, you're not being true to your character by literally you forcing.
And then it's a self-insert at that point. Yeah.
There's two things I actually want to do today. There's two things I had in mind I want to do. So first of all, I want to do the questions from the chat if anyone has any questions about CKing or questions for you guys. But at the same time, I was hoping, but you guys are more than happy to say no. I didn't want to bring this up before the podcast started because I kind of want to put you on the spot. Would it be cool if people asked, let's say that Baba Roleplay is here. Let's say that Tommy had a last question that he could ask. He could ask Azak. He could ask Rupert Quinn, and you would answer him in a Rupert Quinn voice. Or if anyone had a question for Peter Walsh, and then they could ask Peter Walsh, and you would answer in Peter Walsh voice.
Yeah, go on then.
So this is your time, chat. If you guys have anything you wanna ask any of us about anything CK related, but if you have anything you want to ask Peter Walsh, the character, or Rupert Quinn, the character, go ahead now. The floor is yours. I'm more than welcome to ask.
I haven't done my vocal warm-ups. Put me on the spot. I don't do vocal warm-up.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Shut up.
The only woman you were ever remotely tolerated goes Peter Walsh.
Yeah. What is the question?
how does it feel that Arden got 2 businesses?
Yeah, stupid woman. I don't care. Leave me alone.
Oh god.
All right, Peter Walsh. Who's the ditziest woman?
Oh my god, the ditziest fucking woman. Let me tell you about her. Fucking annoying lady. I hate the fuck out of her. Her name is Miss May. She lives down in Blackwater and she owns a curry shop. She is the most annoying, ditzy, stupid fucking woman I have ever met in my life. She does not shut the fuck up. Let me tell you. Oh, Peter, what you doing? Where you going? Pete? Shut up.
Is that Staff May?
Yeah.
What about Rupert? How does Rupert Quinn? How do you feel about coffee?
I'm not even gonna fucking answer that.
Really?
No, that is coffee is shit. I'm sorry. Are we allowed swearing on here?
Of course we are, man.
It's a bit too late for that, mate. I've already.
Well, yeah, no, coffee's shit, and no one should be drinking it. And no, not that is Parrot in here
No.
because Parrot used to annoy the living daylights out of me coming out of iced tea. Iced tea. I mean, it's just Yorkshire tea, 2 sugars, a dash of milk, simple, sorted. None
That's
of
it,
that
mate.
iced tea.
Yeah, I'm on it, mate. I'm with you.
What about your funerals? I actually like that one from Drun. How do you guys feel about your funerals? Like, well, we'll start with Aaron. Like, your funeral. I didn't see your funeral, but I know you have a tombstone out close to the river, crossing to the Mexico border.
Yeah, no, I loved that. I think Benny was streaming at the time because that same night the funeral was, Huckabee died. So I think, yeah, Cora was hoping that Benny would help or Huckabee and speak a lot, but yeah, Huckabee died. So that was a bit of a nightmare. So I wish he was there. But apart from that, I loved it, and it was emotional. It really was, even out of character. I was laying there, so yeah, I loved it. I wish there was a few more people there, but the restart and the server was full that day, so if a couple of people couldn't be there, but apart from that, loved every moment of it.
Yeah. What about you, Peter Walsh?
My funeral.
Yeah. How'd you find it?
Um,
Like it?
Yeah, it was pretty shit, to be honest. And no, it was good. No, it was good. It was really good. I liked it. I'm happy with the gravestone. Just says yeah, whatever on the bottom. Yeah. You showed up to that, didn't you? Showed up, didn't you,
Yeah,
Aaron?
I
I swear.
Oh.
Yeah,
He was there because he was like hiding or something at the time.
He was up in the mountains.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I was there, long hair, the only one that wasn't in a suit.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, and that was cool. I didn't know who it was at the time, but it was fucking cool. But no, overall the funeral was great. It was a lot of fun. It was cool to just see all a lot of old faces, a lot of new faces just come. I did feel bad because not everyone could go because of culling issues.
Yeah.
People had to get turned away there, which was pretty shit.
I remember Shu being turned away. She was not happy about that.
I'm a shoe over you. Don't get me started there. No, it was good. No, I loved it. I was very happy with it.
What about the speeches? Because some of the people that did speeches there, they were like really extremely emotional. Like even I was sitting there going, "Oh my god!" Like how'd you feel?
It wasn't
just
easy.
laying there flopping around.
Oh, it wasn't easy, mate. I won't lie. It wasn't easy to listen to all that shit after it's so long. It is weird having the whole thing be around your character though. It's very like. I don't like having like a huge amount of tension on my character at all times, so it was kind of very weird to just have that for that moment. But it was very touching. It was very sweet. It was nice.
Mm.
Yeah, the speeches are a hard one, and I don't. Dan, did you have it where? Because after the speeches, when everyone starts to like filter off, you have a couple of people then do the little private talk at the grave.
Oh
like
yeah,
one-on-one. They're hard. They're hard.
Yeah, fuck Bird for his when he trolled.
What was it? Who said? Someone asked, "Why did you sit up in New Austin with the T?" And I think you already explained that earlier today. It's because you were trying to make it illegal, like because people were trying to make tea illegal, so you did it down in New Austin. Where was it?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find it again. Was it? Someone said something, man. I can't find it now. What was it? Yeah, it was John saying, "Rupert, why New Austin? Why set up shop there?"
Yeah, I wanted like a very Civ thing to almost seem illegal. Part of it was humorous, to have that just humor part of it, but the other part, which no one ever found out, was I had this whole receipt from somewhere, and it did have bits of cocaine in the tea to make it addicting.
Hey.
There it is.
Yeah, and it's still out there, but it was totally unintentional in a character side. He had no clue. He was very tight with his money and wanted to get the best sugar for the cheapest. So,
What do you mean there's cocaine in that shit? What the fuck?
Because people were going on to it. They were saying, "Oh my god, I don't like tea, but this is addicting." And yeah, that was part of it.
It was cool that people like latched onto that as well and went with it, you know.
Yeah.
They could have just been like, yeah, this is tea, you know. But they went with it. The fact it was very addicting.
All the lore going along with it as well. Yeah, it was really good from everyone. That's the thing. We've got some good people here, you know. So
exactly, you could just make tea and they just drink and be like, yeah, thanks. But like, the fact that it's just created its own sort of subplot story from it, and people were going along with it, shows how creative people, you know, around the server are, and it's just they're willing to sort of go with your story. It's very good to see. Very healthy.
Yeah, exactly. Letting it like just don't be scared of letting like going down the rabbit hole. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, it's like, you know, see someone tea and they maybe do it like a /me, that there'll be something extra addictive in it, you know, or if you hear that, you know, just play along with it. Why not? You know, it doesn't do much to you, maybe for your storyline, but it just helps out the other person trying to do it so much. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
I was hoping someone would find out, I'd get arrested, or someone would try and sue me, and it would just be a whole unintentional thing. Listen, I'm just tight with my money. You know, I didn't know there was cocaine in this.
Is there anything else you guys want to chat? Want to ask Crabkiller69 and Rupert Quinn about before we wrap this up, because we have been going for an hour and 15 minutes now, and I know you guys were there 15 minutes before we started to prepare, so we've been sitting here for an hour and a half. You got them now, guys. You got Crabkiller and can Rupert and Pete kiss?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did they ever kiss? I can't remember. I think they did.
I don't know. Did we?
I can't remember, bruv. I've kissed, as bad as it sounds, I've kissed so many people in that character. You know what I mean?
You know what? I definitely wanted to, at least.
Wait, Rupert proposed to Pete? Oh, wow.
Yeah, he did, and I fully rejected him.
Yeah, that was the worst day of my life.
Aww.
Yeah, no,
I said, absolutely not.
No, that was, you know, I think there might have been one time, Dan. I think there might have been one time. It might not have been a full-on one, but it was definitely a peck. I think it was, I walked into the crab shack, and can you remember on that shelf, there was a picture, and you said it was that other Rupert.
Yeah.
I think there might have been a peck there, you know.
Yeah, probably. Oh yes, I remember now. Yeah.
But wasn't there something that I think you told me at some point, Dan, that you made up someone named Rupee or Rupert or Rupa or something like that?
Rupert, but I call him Rupee. It was an NPC character because at the time I wanted to get, so before boats were on the server, like you were able to get boats, I made a ticket about getting a boat, potentially just for a little like outing. The ticket got approved, and on the spot someone was like, how did you get the boat? I was like, oh, I met this beautiful man down in Saint Denis. His name's Rupee. Long, beautiful hair, the most fantastic man you've ever seen. And I just went with it, and people, you know, believed me into thinking that Rupert was a real person. And to a point where, you know, I mentioned him so much in character that he actually got a little feature in an appreciation post. someone added me and Rupert ? They didn't know who it was. But yeah, so that's where that came from. But secretly, Rupert is Golden, the admin Golden, because he had to spawn a boat in for me. So that's secretly who that is.
All right. So in the song, the Armadillo song we just heard in the intro.
Mm-hmm.
Who's that? Which rupee?
It's about this Aaron down in Armadillo.
Okay. Yeah, just making sure. Just making sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Always waiting down for Pete. You know, if there's a whisper of Pete coming down to Armadillo, we'd wait. You know, the world would stop.
I used to love getting down there. Yeah. Miss Corn, miss all the boys down there, miss Rupert. God, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, shout out to everyone down in New Austin. They're all really good. Good people to hang around with.
I think Tommy wants you to say, even though you already said it once today, I think he wants you to say, I want Aaron to say the Telegram T thingy.
Oh, Tommy, remember, you didn't get from me Telegram T. That was my favorite thing to say. I think that T Telegram's still up, I believe.
Well,
I think there's a group of people in that.
Oh.
Yeah,
oh.
I think. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Go on.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I check my Pete telegrams every once in a while, and I still get some random shit in there. I think because someone had a very similar telegram to me. Mine was PT, Petey, but someone has Peteey. Yeah. And I get shit about mining stuff all the time.
Oh, that's what dip.
Half
dip
pine.
That's half pine Pete. That's half pine Pete.
Yeah, well, I'm dead now. Obviously, I can't respond to it. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I remember I used to get them when I was alive. I just respond like, who the fuck are you? Go away. Leave me alone.
That's what I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask you, but I always get them all the time, anyways. But can the chat get a whatever? Fuck off. Go get a real job, you bum.
You want me to say that?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, whatever. You motherfuckers just go get a real fucking job, Mr. Rainman. You fucking bum.
All right. If there's nothing else from chat, because this is your chance now. Otherwise, meanwhile, you guys can think of any questions for anyone, but specifically Crabkiller69 and Aaron. Next week's podcast is going to be about criminal gang shit.
Gang.
We're going to be talking about how to play.
How to rob.
How rob. That is the name of the episode. Next week's episode is going to be called How Rob, where we're going to be talking about just in general how to do a successful gang criminal activities. What can be the potential benefits of it? How it helps the server and the RP on it, and not just be a guy that just goes hands and just steals 3 things and just fucks off. Who is the guest? The guest is going to be 50p. I don't know if it's supposed to be pronounced said differently.
50p, Jim Butcher.
Yeah, Jim Butcher.
Jim Butcher.
Ooh.
Jim Butcher, the Butcher Gang. 50 Cent. Is that
No,
how it's supposed?
That's the rapper.
Yeah, 50 pence, right? That's what you say.
Yeah, 50 pence.
So next Sunday, same time, same place. We're gonna have Jim Butcher, for talking about how to create something like that, a long-lasting criminal gang and characters, and how to do that. Can we get what? I don't even know what that means. When? Same time, same 3 p.m. EST. We are a little bit fucked because today I think in Denmark we went to winter time, so we had to start an hour early. I did not know that. YBN Young, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Why is this funny? Explain.
I'll tell you about it later, mate. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
There's deep lore behind it.
Okay, deep lore. Okay, but yes, that's
Deep
what we're going
lore.
to be doing next week. Have a little bit of a talk about how you can facilitate criminal RP and what it can do for the server, but also how to start out and build it up again. So next week, 3 p.m. EST, Sunday. The podcast is always at 3 p.m. EST, same time, same place. As I said, it was just a little bit fucked up today because apparently we went an hour back in Denmark without me knowing. I thought it was the American that went an hour ahead for some reason. I don't know. But yeah,
It's stupid regardless.
you wanna do any call any shout outs? You wanna do it now, Azak?
I've said it a couple of times, but yeah, shout out to everyone down in New Austin. I'm not going to do names because I'm just going to miss people out. Shout out to everyone in LSO right now. Shout out to all the orphans. Shout out to the bowler hat boys of Saint Denis that are causing a ruckus at the moment. Shout out to Dan and everyone like that. Cora, Bobby, Arden, Porter. Shout out to Benny, top tier, insane. I mean, everyone knows. Yeah. Well, shout out to Ranch because this is a home for us all, and we appreciate you.
All right, and you, come on, Pete.
Don't let the system fail you, folks. You keep your gun closed because there will be a time where they're going to come get you. Donovan Hilliard, I'm going to get your fucking ass, you fucking asshole. That's it.
All right, that's it.
Elder Brain is coming.
The Elder Brain is coming. Okay, the Breakaway Society, the Elder Brain, everything. All right, guys. Thank you so much for today. I also just want to ask you guys. Dip.
Everybody, keep your eyes on the announcements on the Discord because we are going to put at some point in a few days a form out where people can suggest if they want what they want to see. Or if they want to be on the podcast at some point. Basically, a way to get y'all's input on everything.
Yep, exactly.
So watch
if
out
you
for that.
wanna,
Yeah.
just to give you guys an example, it could be Baba Roleplay that just wanted to showcase that wanted to come on. Let's do an episode about the orphans of Saint Denis. It could be anything. It could be a gang. It could be a family. It could be a character. It could be anything at all. Anything at all. Feel free to reach out in that. It's going to be a forum, and reach out to that. Say what you want, and give us a little bit. Don't just say in it. I want to do one about Tommy the Kid. Boom, that's it. No, give us something. Give us what you want to talk about. Don't put it all on, I was about to say our shoulders, put it on, but in reality, don't put it all on Dip's shoulders. But give us something to work off of. We are going to have in the future, we're going to have Chi on for a podcast about doctor's office as well. What else we got coming up?
REO,
I
think.
And the graphics design team, we're going to have one about them as well. But yes, the REO as well. But yes, now I need you guys because I can't see it on my screens. Who's streaming currently from Ranch Roleplay? Because we need to send all
From
Ranch Roleplay.
From Ranch.
Yes.
I've got Island 64, Corn, Roe, Virgil Fitzgerald.
So the time before last time we did Corn, and the last time we did Island. So we doing Roe this time?
I'm back in Rupert's daughter, Roe.
Yeah,
That's
Roe
what
is
I'm saying.
that's floaty.
Yeah, I can never pronounce
Fuck,
it.
can someone
Flirty trait?
Can someone just type it in so I can type it down so I can actually copy? Isn't that Roe? I freaking miss Rupert Quinn. Yeah. Flirty trait. All right, we'll do flirty trait. Yeah. All right, we'll do it this time then. All right, there you go. Go ahead and go over there and join us. Come over and say hi to whoever is on there, and especially Roll as well. Anyone ever got anything to say right now? This is your time right now.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
I should have expected that one.
Don't forget.
Yeah, don't forget T. It's time You heard it from me. No, wait. No, don't. You heard it from me. No, you didn't hear it from me.
Yeah, you didn't.
You
Hear
fucked
you
it up,
didn't
you
get.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh, you bet. I forgot it now. You didn't get it from me.
Yeah.
Telegram T.
Shut up.
All right.
Shut up.
Okay. I hate T. Yeah, I'm just gonna let it run out to make sure that anyone that wanna, join the raid or not join the raid, they got time now. But thank you guys so much for being on the podcast today, talking about how it's good to CK, and thank you everybody for joining in again today and saying hello and
Thank you for having me, mate. Lots of fun.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Of course.
Oh, I forgot to say, we also got one coming up about how to ping pong, how to play off of each other. We are having one about Crabkiller 69 and Bert coming up, and not so
great.
far out in the future. They've already said yes to that, so but yes, 5 seconds left. All right, go ahead.
Peace.
Peace.